is Beth Thompson, and I am from Osterville Elementary. And I was not planning on speaking tonight, and as you can tell, I don't have a prepared thing. I have little scratch notes on my pay stub, actually. But I have been coming to the meetings since the beginning, and I keep hearing about the $6 million, and we have to cut money, but yet you keep coming up with ideas with no concrete figures. And I don't know how you guys can make a decision without knowing what is going to be affected and how much that's going to cost. I mean, you're talking about moving schools. Now you're going to be busing kids all over the district. How can you make that decision without saying, if we do this, this is going to happen. If we do this, that's going to happen. I don't know how you expect us to support any decision you make without having concrete figures. And I work at a bank, so I'm very all about the numbers. So, and I don't envy you. I think it's very hard, and I understand that you can't make decisions. You can't go forward unless a decision is made. So it's kind of a catch-22. But there are other ways that the town could save money, which some people have given me. Maybe advertising on school buses, higher fees at beaches, libraries, speeding tickets, raise those fees. If you charge the fields, sports teams to use the fields, then raise that fee. I mean, there's other things you can do rather than taking the money from the schools, which always seems to be what happens. That's all I have to say.
Good evening. Paula Fay, 52 Levels Road, Katuitt. I would like to address the concept of decision-making without supporting detail, the role of the community in using data to make appropriate decisions, and the use of data to devastate a community. It has been stated that the decision-making without supporting information is just a guess, and unfortunately for the past few months, there has been a lack of detail provided, and one can only assume guessing going on relative to the future of our community. There have been many valid questions asked regarding the costs associated with both the proposal presented by the superintendent and other operating costs of the district. However, few, if any, have been answered. At this point, the elected officials of this school district need to heed the advice of the 44th President of the United States of America and do business in the light of day. For several minutes last week, the superintendent of schools cited information that was obtained from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's webpage. The superintendent systematically identified each elementary school and referenced their status relative to the measure known as annual yearly progress. The superintendent appeared to relish the fact that all but one of the schools was on target relative to meeting AYP. And although the ability of a school to meet AYP is used to evaluate school performance, there is a need for our community to realize that AYP is just one measure, and when looked at in a vacuum does not necessarily reflect the true performance of a school. So here is another measure. In 2007, 65% of the students who had been enrolled at Hyannis East for the previous 2 years scored at the proficient or advanced level on the 4th grade MCAS exam for English language arts. On the same test, 67% of the students at Barnstable West Barnstable and 66% of the students at Katuitt scored at comparable levels. In light of the fact the students at Hyannis East come from some of the most disadvantaged...
2 minutes.
Thank you. Disadvantaged homes in our community, one has to question why the superintendent of this district would demean and not praise the accomplishments of our most fragile children. It is our job to build and not destroy this community. In closing, it is truly unfortunate that our educational leaders fail to see the potential that exists within the Hyannis East community. And I'll end by paraphrasing Reverend John Lowry as he made his closing remarks at today's inauguration. Hopefully, tonight will be the night when white will do right. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Sheila McNamara, and I'm a resident of Centerville. And in regards to moving the charter school to Hyannis East, I think that you should just look at the message that you may send to that community, that yes, we are keeping your school open, but no, your children will not be able to attend because it is a lottery system. And I think after the last 2 meetings, they have stressed the need to have a beacon in their community and to have consistency. And I just think this might be a slap in their face. Thank you.
Move them other places. 10 kids go to this school, 10 kids go, or however many the number is. But it's just better for them. if they're just separated and they get a better education that way. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Oh, and I'd prefer if she didn't go with the high schoolers when she's 13 years old, because at 13, I'm going to come knocking on your door asking why some 18-year-old is asking my 13-year-old out. 8th graders don't belong with high school kids. They really don't.
Here, member of the school board, good evening. My name is Morton Bain, and I have a granddaughter who goes to Centerville Elementary, and I come in peace. That being said, I have concluded that we have put the cart before the horse, and I will explain. The decision to close any number of schools was based principally out of need to help close an estimated $6 million shortfall in the school budget. The problem seems to be in the fact that we have not been given the opportunity to review those financial detail numbers that form the basis to close 2 schools. Perhaps a review would show we only need to close 1 school or maybe even 3. The irony in this is that these numbers, or soon-to-be numbers, will be available when the school budget is offered up to the public for review next week, I believe. Dr. Grenier and her staff has always made themselves available for review and to answer questions. I feel that the decision to close schools should be delayed until the school budget in its entirety is scheduled for review.